drivers used to control cars. Today, software does. Modern vehicles run more than 100 million lines of code, weigh hundreds of pounds more than needed, and pump fake noise through the speakers just to simulate excitement. Here's the death of driving pleasure: 13 things killing cars forever. If you've ever wondered why new cars feel flawless but lifeless, you're about to get the truth. Let's get to it. Killer number 13. Artificial engine sound and fake exhaust noise. You ever notice how some new cars try way too hard to sound like a sports car? That's no accident. Welcome to the world of artificial engine sound and fake exhaust noise. Automakers are literally piping in fake engine growls through your speakers or inside the cabin. They call it enhanced auditory experience. I call it cheating. Here's the truth. The engine is supposed to talk to you. Its growl, its rumble, even the subtle hum at idle tells you what it's doing, how it's performing. When you replace that with fake sounds, you lose that connection. Your car stops feeling alive. It becomes a prop, a theater piece, rather than a machine you drive. And the exhaust? Same story. Those fake crackles and pops on downshifts, manufactured, not mechanical. Real exhaust tone comes from real combustion. It's unpredictable, raw, exciting. Fake it, and you remove the thrill. Even worse, it masks the actual health of your engine. A real misfire or backfire would give you a warning. Fake noise? It just distracts you. What's crazy is how subtle it is. At first, you think, cool, it sounds sporty. But after a few months, your brain adjusts. You stop noticing the sound entirely because it's not real. Driving becomes sterile, emotionless, and if you think that's just a minor annoyance, wait until you feel what's creeping into your steering. Killer number 12, over-assisted steering. Ever grab the wheel and feel like the car is doing all the work for you? That's over-assisted steering. Modern cars have electric power steering systems that make turning effortless, sometimes too effortless. It sounds convenient, but it's killing the feel. Driving used to be about feedback. The road talked to you through the wheel. You could sense grip, weight transfer, even tire wear. With over-assisted steering, that connection vanishes. The wheel becomes a joystick, turns feel numb. You can't tell if the tires are slipping, if the road is wet, or if the car is about to bite back. It's like playing a video game instead of driving a car. Here's the kicker. Engineers add more assistance to improve fuel economy or meet safety regulations. Lighter steering means less effort, yes, but also less engagement. Your hands aren't connected to the tires anymore. Cornering? Less thrilling. Precision driving? Gone. Even a simple lane change feels artificial. And the worst part, you don't always notice it at first. It sneaks in gradually, mile by mile, model by model. You start craving that feedback you didn't know you'd lost. Real drivers feel it immediately. Enthusiasts? They hate it. And if you think losing steering feel is bad, just wait until you see what automakers are doing to transmissions. Killer number 11, CVT transmissions. You ever hit the gas and feel nothing? Just a long, stretched out whine like the car is struggling to catch its breath? That's the classic signature of a CVT, continuously variable transmission, and it's one of the biggest killers of driving pleasure today. On paper, a CVT sounds brilliant, smooth, efficient, always in the perfect gear ratio. But in the real world, it's a joy vacuum. CVTs don't shift, they don't kick, they don't give you that punch you expect when you floor it. Instead, they hold the engine at one long drone, like a slipping clutch that never grabs. Drivers lose that rhythmic rise and fall of gears, a sound and feeling that has defined driving for over 100 years. And here's the part most people don't know. CVTs mask engine performance. They hide power loss, delay response, and make acceleration feel rubbery and detached. You turn the wheel, hit the gas, and the car hesitates because the belt or chain is still adjusting. There's no snap, no surge, no mechanical connection. Even worse, many CVTs wear out early. Overheating, belt stretch, bearing failure, manufacturers quietly update them because complaints pile up. Ever wonder why some brands extended CVT warranties? It wasn't charity. The real tragedy? A CVT strips away the driver's role. It takes the rhythm out of driving, the timing, the feel of matching speed with engine note. Everything becomes flat, boring, predictable, and if you think a lifeless transmission is bad, wait until you see what happens when the car stops using real mechanical linkages altogether. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Killer number 10. Drive-by-wire everything. Cars today are packed with systems that pretend to be mechanical when they're really just software. Press the gas pedal? You're not opening a throttle anymore. You're sending a request. Hit the brakes? A computer decides how much pressure you actually meant. Even the shifter in many cars isn't connected to anything. It's just a plastic lever telling a module what to do. This shift to drive-by-wire takes something vital away: the honesty. When you press a real pedal attached to a real cable, you feel the engine respond instantly. No filters, no delays, no smoothing algorithms stepping in to fix your driving. But with drive-by-wire, every input gets processed, cleaned up, and sometimes changed before the car reacts. It's polished, yes, but it's also disconnected. Speed bumps become suggestions. Throttle becomes a simulation. Brakes feel the same whether you're slowing from 20 or 80. Everything is controlled, measured, softened. Drivers lose the raw cause and effect that made older cars so engaging. There's another issue no one talks about: inconsistency. Two identical cars can feel different depending on software updates, battery voltage, temperature, or calibration changes. Your own car might not even feel the same from one year to the next after a dealer update. That unpredictability breaks the bond between driver and machine. The whole driving experience starts to feel filtered through layers of electronics. Smooth, but numb. Modern, but hollow. And if you think that disconnect is bad, wait until you hear what happens when engines themselves stop acting like engines and start struggling to breathe. Killer number 9. Turbo lag and downsized engines. You hit the gas expecting a burst of power, and nothing happens. One Mississippi, two Mississippi. Then the car finally wakes up. That delay is turbo lag, and it's become the new normal because modern engines are shrinking fast. Small engines used to mean lightweight, high-revving fun. Now they mean tiny blocks pushed way beyond their comfort zone. Automakers replace displacement with boost, hoping turbos can cover the gap. But when you squeeze big expectations out of a small engine, something has to give. And it's usually the driving feel. Turbo lag kills that instant connection between your foot and the engine. You ask for power, but the turbo is still spinning up, still building pressure. By the time it delivers, the moment has passed. Quick passes feel sketchy. Corner exits feel sloppy. The engine hesitates like it's second-guessing you. And once the boost finally hits, it's often a short, sharp punch instead of a smooth pull. Power comes in chunks, not curves. That balance older engines had, the predictable rise in torque, the clean throttle response, gets wiped out. Downsized engines also work harder just to keep up. High boost, higher temps, more stress. Many struggle with carbon buildup, weak pistons, or stretched timing chains far earlier than the bigger engines they replaced. The drive suffers, and long-term reliability suffers with it. And here's the saddest part. the emotion disappears. No more natural growl, no more throttle and response rhythm, just delay, and then a surge. And if that loss of feel frustrates you, wait until the next culprit, where even simple controls vanish behind glowing glass panels. Killer number 8, gigantic touchscreens. You're driving down the road, trying to adjust the AC, and suddenly you're digging through a menu that looks like a phone from the future, all because your car replaced real buttons with a giant tablet glued to the dash. That's the problem with modern touchscreens. They demand your eyes when your eyes should be on the road. There used to be a simple beauty in physical controls. You could feel your way around the cabin without thinking. A dial had weight, a button had a click. Your muscle memory handled everything, so your attention stayed outside the windshield. Now, you have to aim, swipe, tap, confirm. One tiny mistake, and you're in the wrong menu. And these screens keep getting bigger. 15 inches, 17 inches. Some cars stretch the display from door to door. They look impressive in a showroom, but behind the wheel, they pull your focus like a magnet. Every touch becomes a task. Every setting becomes a distraction. Worse, screens age quickly, glare in sunlight, smudges everywhere. Slow software, frozen menus, laggy animations. People replace phones every few years for these exact problems. But you're stuck with this screen for the life of the car. And let's be honest, touchscreens drain the emotion out of driving. They replace tactile control with flat glass. Everything feels the same. Climate, radio, navigation. They're just icons on a crowded interface. No texture, no feedback, no connection. Driving becomes less about the road and more about managing a digital control panel. And if you think that's hurting the experience, wait until you see what happens when the cars themselves get bloated beyond belief. Killer number 7. Overweight cars, safety regulations plus tech creep. New cars keep getting heavier, and it's not just because of metal. Safety regulations, emissions systems, infotainment, batteries, and tech add up fast. The average passenger car today weighs hundreds of pounds more than its equivalent from 20 years ago. That extra mass changes everything about driving. Weight kills agility. Cornering feels slow. Braking distances stretch. The car doesn't dance on the road anymore. It lumbered like a tank. Tires wear faster, suspension gets worked harder, and the steering starts feeling disconnected. Even if the engine produces the same power as older, lighter models, it feels sluggish because it's moving more mass. And it's not just physics, it's emotion. A light, nimble car makes you feel the road. You can sense every turn, every camber change, every grip limit. When cars bulk up, that tactile feedback disappears. You're insulated from the road instead of connected to it. Driving feels muted. Safe, yes, but lifeless. Tech creep is another killer. Every new driver assist system, every bigger battery for hybrid tech, every structural reinforcement for crash standards adds weight. And automakers often justify it as a trade-off. More safety, more convenience, more tech. But the cost is raw driving pleasure. The scariest part? This trend isn't slowing. SUVs, crossovers, even sedans are ballooning year after year. The cars that were once nimble and fun are now heavy, soft, and sanitized. And if you think that's enough to kill the thrill, brace yourself for what comes next. Features that actively intervene in your every move. Killer number 6, mandatory nanny features. Your car is watching you, literally. Lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking, blind spot warnings, speed limit reminders. They're everywhere now. What was once a partnership between driver and machine has turned into a babysitter behind the wheel. These systems are sold as safety upgrades, and sure, some of them save lives. But when they become mandatory, they steal the most basic joy of driving: control. press the pedal, steer the wheel, make decisions. Your input is constantly monitored, corrected, even overridden. The car nudges you, tugs you, beeps at you, sometimes slamming the brakes when you think you know best. And it doesn't stop at subtle interventions. Modern nanny features can cut throttle, slam brakes, even prevent a lane change if the system decides it's unsafe. Drivers no longer drive. They follow rules enforced by electronics. Every corner, every merge, every quick overtake becomes second-guessed by software. The spontaneity, the human edge, is gone. There's a psychological cost too. You stop trusting yourself. You stop feeling the car. Driving becomes passive. The thrill of testing limits, of mastering a car's behavior disappears. Even experienced drivers feel restrained. And don't underestimate how intrusive it is. A beep here, a vibration there, a warning pop-up every few minutes. It wears on you. After a few miles, the experience is exhausting, not exciting. If you think being micromanaged behind the wheel is bad, just wait. The next culprit doesn't just intervene in your driving, it erases the entire mechanical relationship between you and your car. Killer number 5. Automatic transmissions replacing manuals. Manual transmissions are disappearing. Slowly, almost silently, automatic gearboxes have taken over every segment, from compacts to sports cars. And with that, one of the purest thrills of driving is fading fast. A manual gives you rhythm. You feel the engine, the clutch, the gearbox all working together. Every shift is intentional. Every downshift is a controlled rush of energy. When you replace that with an automatic, even a fancy dual clutch or torque converter, that connection vanishes. The car chooses the gears, not you. The timing, the power delivery, the cadence, it's all decided by a computer. Even the best automatics can't replicate the subtle satisfaction of matching revs to the gear, feeling the clutch bite, or controlling the car's momentum like an extension of your own body. Instead, you get efficiency, convenience, and predictability, but at the cost of engagement. Driving becomes a passive act, and it's worse with cheap modern torque converter automatics. They hesitate, they hunt for gears, they rob torque at the wrong moment. The engine wails while the car lags behind your intentions. That playful mechanical dance is gone. The loss goes beyond just fun. Manual cars teach skill. They make you aware of momentum, braking, and throttle balance. Automatics hide that. They sanitize the experience. Drivers stop learning, stop feeling, stop connecting. And here's the twist. Now that automatics have taken over, most drivers are doing things that would blow a manual gearbox in seconds. But they're doing it to their automatics every single day. If you drive an automatic and want yours to survive, you need to watch the video linked above. Killer number 4. Subscription features. Imagine paying to unlock features in your own car. Not add-ons, but stuff already built in. That's exactly what a growing number of automakers are doing. We're not talking about extra apps. We're talking basic functions buried behind monthly paywalls. Take Tesla, for example. Want full self-driving? It's now a $99 per month subscription for some cars. Or even premium connectivity. Features like live maps, video streaming, and internet browsing cost you extra every month. Then there's BMW, which caused a stir by charging $18 a month for heated seats in some markets. Their high beam assistant? Also software locked, about $8 per month. Even their dash cam function, $19 per month, or a big one-time payment. GM doesn't escape this either. OnStar Premium, which many assume comes with the car, is now a recurring $50 per month or more, depending on how aggressive the telematics pricing goes. Toyota jumped in too. Their Remote Connect, which gives you remote start, lock, unlock, and vehicle status via your phone, is now a paid service at $8 per month, or about $80 per year, once the trial ends. This isn't just a convenience tax, it's a shift in how automakers make money. Features that used to be part of your car's owning experience are now treated like subscription apps. And worst of all, you end up paying forever, or you lose functionality entirely. Killer number 3, EV weight plus one-speed drivetrains. Electric cars are heavy, really heavy. A standard compact EV can weigh 500 to 800 pounds more than its gasoline equivalent. Batteries are massive, and that weight isn't just dead mass. It changes everything about how the car feels on the road. In a gas car, you can feel the engine's feedback through the chassis. In most EVs, that connection is dulled. The car feels planted, yes, but also inert. Steering is heavier, cornering is flatter, and suspension has to work overtime to manage the extra pounds. That nimble, responsive sensation you remember from traditional cars? Largely gone. And then there's the one-speed drivetrain. No gears, no shifting, no rising and falling of engine revs. You hit the accelerator, the car launches, sometimes brutally fast, but it's always linear. There's no anticipation, no buildup, no rhythm. The sensation of controlling power through a transmission is completely erased. EV enthusiasts will tell you that the instant torques is exhilarating, and for short bursts it can be. But over time, the experience flattens. Every acceleration feels the same. Every corner is just managed. The drama is gone. Add the weight factor to that, and braking and cornering feel heavy, filtered, and artificial. The car doesn't communicate with the driver. It just does. You're along for the ride, not in command. It's ironic. EVs are sold as the future of driving, but in many ways, they're stripping the soul out of it. And if you think the sterile feel of EVs is bad, wait until you encounter the next killer, quietly cutting your engine's life with every stop. Killer number 2, auto start-stop systems. Engines that shut off every time you stop at a light might sound smart, but they're wrecking the feel of driving. Auto start-stop systems are everywhere now, designed to save fuel and emissions. The reality? They rob your car of smoothness, predictability, and yes, enjoyment. Every red light, every stop sign, your engine dies. Then you lift your foot, and it jerks to life again. That pause isn't natural. It interrupts momentum, it interrupts rhythm, and it doesn't just annoy you, it adds wear to components like starters, alternators, and even the engine itself, especially if the system cycles hundreds of times a day in city traffic. The worst part is the psychological effect. You press the brake fully and anticipate acceleration, but instead, there's a delay. It's subtle, but it builds frustration over time. That seamless connection between your foot, the pedal, and the engine, the invisible feedback that makes a car feel alive, is gone. Manufacturers claim clever software softens the jerkiness. Sometimes it helps. Often, it doesn't. On older engines or in colder weather, the start-stop system can be rough, loud, and intrusive. Drivers report hesitation, jerky takeoffs, and a constant sense that the car isn't completely under your control. It's efficiency over emotion, and while saving a few drops of fuel might sound appealing, the cost is the driving experience itself. Subtle, continuous, and unavoidable. And if you think repeatedly killing the engine is bad, just wait until we reach the ultimate takeover. A system that drives the car for you, almost entirely removing you from the equation. Killer number 1, autonomous driving and self-driving features. You've probably heard the buzz, self-driving cars. But here's the hard truth. Most of what you see on roads today isn't full autonomy, it's advanced assistance. Still, It's creeping into more and more cars, and that's killing the soul of driving. Take Tesla. Their autopilot and full self-driving systems are the poster children. These use adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, auto lane change, and even stop sign/traffic light control. But despite the name, you still need to pay attention. Then there's GM's Super Cruise, hands-free driving on mapped highways, available on Cadillac CT4/CT5, Escalade, and even some Chevrolets and GMCs. It uses LiDAR mapped data and an internal camera to watch if you're paying attention. Ford has Blue Cruise, a level 2 system that lets you take your hands off the wheel on over 130,000 miles of blue zones. Pre-mapped highways. Versions like Blue Cruise, 1.2 or 1.3 add automatic lane changes and other smart features. Luxury automakers are catching up too. Mercedes Drive Pilot, a level 3 system, can let the car take over in certain conditions, but only in limited areas or speed zones, and often via a pricey subscription. BMW's Personal Pilot L3 is also out in certain markets. In China, companies like Xpeng are pushing hard. The Xpeng P7 uses Xpilot 3.0 with a suite of radars, cameras, and sensors to enable very advanced assisted driving. Even Ado's M5 Ultra comes with LiDAR and supervised autonomous driving built in. Here's why this kills driving pleasure. These systems slowly take over. They steer, they brake, they accelerate, but your role shrinks. Instead of feeling like a driver, you feel more like a passenger in your own car. We're losing driving pleasure piece by piece, but you can still save the machine under your hood. The danger is, everyday habits are secretly destroying it. You'd be shocked how many you're doing right now. If you want to keep your engine alive, click below.